Hey, small group leaders. We're just going to review the game that we're going to do for this week, and we thought it'd be helpful to do it in a video form. We're also going to explain it on the handout, but this way maybe you'll understand the concept a little easier if it's also in video form. So the game is called 12 Minutes to Win It, and it's going to be a recap of all things we have learned throughout the year. And it's competition, because we realize the kids really like a competition. So the students will all get these little cutouts. These are the answers, and they're also on a sticky label. But the tricky part is we threw in about 6 or so false answers, just to throw them off. All the small group leaders will get 6 questions for the students that are on separate sheets of paper. And then this is the final statement that they need to form and put together themselves. These you want to keep in your binders, and you do not want the students to see them until it's time, because they are not allowed to use their notes. They're only allowed to work together as a team. So all groups will start at the same time, and I will come and do kind of like I did last week with the starting time with the cowbell. We're all going to start at the same time. So when the cowbell goes off, you're going to take the very first prayer or question, and it has number 1 by it, and you're going to lay it down on the table. And you guys cannot help the students. So the students are going to read the statement. So I'll give you an example. The first one says, prayer is the raising of one's heart and blank towards God. So they're going to look through, and it's, so the answer is mind. So once they find mind, which just pretend I found it, once they find it, they're going to grab it, but they are not going to stick it on yet, because they have to come to me and see if it's correct. And if they're like, oh, we don't know what it is, there's a reference here from the catechism. I will have a catechism with me in the narthex on a table. They can look in here, because it has the reference. Not all of the questions have a reference, but if it does, they can come to the narthex to look for the reference. So we want the students to take turns each time they have to run to the narthex to check their answer, just to get them moving a little bit. So they'll come. They will not stick it on yet. I will let them know if it's correct. If it's correct, they may stick the label on, and then I will write a big B on the back of their paper. So they have 6 pieces of paper. Every time they get it correct, it's going to end up spelling battle. And that goes, we'll get to that part in a little bit. So if they don't get it correct, they have to come back as a team, and they have to keep bringing it up until it's right. So if they get it correct, B on the back, then they come and they flip it over. Okay, so the B is side down, green side. So now they go, then you give them the next sheet. So the next piece of paper, it's another question. They have to try to find it, blah, blah, blah. They come by me, it's correct, stick it on. Now I write an A, so we're going to go through that. Okay, pretend now that we're at the end. So we have it all spelled out. They got them all correct, and it's spelled out battle. Now you may hand them the green piece of paper, and on this it says, you want to show them up close? So on there it says, prayer is a battle. And then it says, against whom? So now they should have 6 of the answers should be out of here. So now they're actually going to make the sentence from the catechism. They're going to have to rearrange it. And it's kind of Survivor style. So it's like, well, I don't know what it is. Once again, the reference is in the bottom here. Send one of your teammates to the narthex to look up the catechism phrase. And I'm going to have like 3 or 4 catechisms there with it highlighted, but it won't be open to the page. So they have to find the page, read the passage, and come back and try to remember as much as they can. And then if they still don't have it right, you send another person. Like, you keep doing this.
And they can't bring the paper with them.
Yes, you cannot bring the piece of
labels.
paper with them or the labels. So you're going to keep going back and forth until you have the phrase correct. So once you go, like if you send someone and they have like, oh, we got the first 3 words, stick them on. But you keep doing this. So once you have it correct and they're all stuck on, you're going to send someone to come back, and I'm going to double check to make sure it's correct. And if it's correct and they're the first team member back, they're going to ring the cowbell. Then the game is done. So the winner would be the whole team together, and they're going to get a little special prize. So the goal is to get this done under 12 minutes. Don't know if it's going to happen. That's the challenge.